Meanwhile, the administration is asking the Supreme Court right now to allow the firing of the head of the federal agency dedicated to protecting whistleblowers. A lower court had previously blocked that move. Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand for more on this. She joins us from the White House this morning. Natalie, what can you tell us about this Office of the Special Counsel, and what is the administration saying in its filing to the Supreme Court defending firing a top official there?
Good morning, Errol. Well, the Office of Special Counsel, this is different than Justice Department special counsels such as Jack Smith. This is an independent watchdog agency. It's intended to guard the federal workforce against unlawful actions such as retaliation against whistleblowers. And the leader of that agency, appointed by President Biden and then confirmed by the U.S. Senate in 2024 to a 5-year term. His name is Hampton Dillinger. He was dismissed, fired by the Trump administration, but then he sued, saying that according to the law, he can only be terminated for issues with his performance, which he said were not mentioned in the email he received dismissing him. Well, a lower court temporarily reinstated him while the case moves forward, but the Trump administration then pushed back and instead now wants the conservative majority U.S. Supreme Court to weigh in on this case. And it's significant because this would be the first real test of presidential power in terms of firing employees presented by the Trump administration. Errol, as you know, it's a federal holiday today, so the earliest we might hear from justices on how they intend to move forward with this case could be tomorrow or in coming days.
And Natalie, despite today being a holiday, we know that over the weekend you had multiple federal workers in various departments learning that they have been let go, they've been fired. I think that includes people at our nuclear experts as well. Which areas are being impacted as far as we know?
Yeah, CBS, we've been trying to track all of it. And those nuclear related workers that you were talking about, this is an interesting one because this is the National Nuclear Security Administration employees who work on the nation's nuclear weapons programs. Well, we heard that a number of them had been let go, but then there are reports that the acting director emailed them trying to bring back a number of employees. So there's a lot of confusion there within what happened there. But as far as government-wide, some of the agencies we've been tracking that we talked about last week include the Department of Education, Small Business Administration, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Over the weekend, we learned of around 400 employees at DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, including employees who work in cyber, CISA, the cybersecurity agency, FEMA, also U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Now, supervisors there told CBS News that these were non-mission critical employees, but again, important agencies here. As we've been tracking, these would be more probationary employees, newer employees with less than 2 years experience, perhaps. We also learned that there were thousands of probationary employees who were let go at Health and Human Services agencies. So, you know, that's CDC and other critical health agencies. Now, again, officials saying this was not haphazard, that these were not high-level scientists or frontline healthcare workers, but Democrats, unions certainly sounding the alarm. Democratic lawmakers worried that this could make Americans more vulnerable to, you know, deadly disease. And Errol, I have to tell you, I spoke to one source within government who said, because of all the uncertainty and the confusion, even if someone wasn't let go, it's causing some high-level talent to rethink staying in government and thinking about instead, you know, going to private industry where things might be more stable right now.
Yeah, you're speaking to that chilling effect that this entire operation is having. Natalie Brand with the latest on all those big headlines for us. Thank you, Natalie.